Vice President of Sustainable Finance Data at Intercontinental Exchange. Larry Lawrence joins me now with more. Larry, it's good to see you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Great to be here.
Great to have you. What does this new data intend to cover?
Yeah, absolutely. So we recently partnered with our friends at Dun & Bradstreet, and this is a perfect example of working together to create solutions that meet sort of the rapidly evolving needs of our customers and clients, including regulators and investors. So combining Dun & Bradstreet's business intelligence, supply chain, and asset location data enables us to get more accurate with where companies are located and exposed geographically. And combining that with ICE's geospatial and climate capabilities, we can give our clients and investors pretty unique insights into exposure to extreme weather events, whether it be wildfires, hurricanes, or floods, as well as give them more analysis and analytics on the emissions implications of all of those locations and the geographic footprint of these organizations. The new service will offer something quite broad to the investment community, the single source of climate data for virtually all business entities globally. As you may know, sustainability has been certainly a hot topic in the industry, and more the availability of data to gain transparency into what you own and your assets are becoming more and more critical. And the next wave of interest is around the private company universe. So this collaboration with D&B will help deliver a significant amount of transparency around the climate, physical, and transition risk of private companies globally.
How much of the market will be covered, Larry, in this data?
I mean, we're talking tens of millions of private companies, so we're thinking most of the market will be covered with this data set. It will take time to sort of get to all of the esoteric small organizations around the world, but by and large, in any significant company, private company around the world will be covered. And in addition to that, we've also integrated significant data around the supply chain. So that brings in an additional tens of millions of companies into the mix and into this data set.
ICE, in this effort, is collaborating with Dun & Bradstreet on the new data. How does that partnership enrich the offering?
It does a couple of things. One of the biggest challenges we've seen or heard from our customers is that it's tricky and difficult to capture accurate asset location data. Let's just say you were working, let's just say you were an investor and you had exposure into a given company. Understanding where the factories, distribution centers, employees are located and distributed across the globe is a pretty difficult thing to do. So this collaboration will provide insight into a pretty large universe of asset level data that we will combine with our climate analytics to deliver, I think, sort of transparency that really investors hadn't seen before. So this is quite new and significant.
We saw earlier today extreme weather impact the jobs report, just 12,000 jobs added in the month of October. And part of that was because of the hurricanes, both Helene and Milton. We know that this weather, extreme weather, can have an impact on the housing sector, probably most directly. So how is this data provided by ICE helping real estate investors, for instance, make better decisions?
Yeah, over the last 5 years, we've seen insurance costs increase for homeowners all over the country. We can map trends at the zip code and county level. And what we've seen is if premiums continue to increase, and as they have been in many parts of the country, affordability challenges for homeowners will likely be compounded with housing valuation depreciation in these high-risk areas where you're seeing more extreme weather events. Ben Keys at Wharton and others have already seen these kinds of effects in risky areas such as Florida. I think they published a paper on that recently. So the kind of depreciation risk in high-risk areas at large scales could impact millions of homeowners, as well as investors of mortgage-backed securities. The impacts could be equally significant for business owners and investors in commercial mortgage-backed securities. So ICE, and where we sit with the sort of the data that we sit on top of, we're uniquely positioned to provide insight in insurance risk due to the work that we're doing in this space. So there's been increasing attention paid to how these extreme weather events impact assets on the ground, but increasingly in the investment world, clients are asking us how those link back to the securities that they hold on their balance sheets and in their portfolio. So these events are quite significant, and questions are being asked about them quite broadly across the industry.
How would you recommend that investors, Larry, use ICE's data to navigate that dynamic insurance market amid extreme weather?
Yeah, so there are a few things we can do. As you know, our mortgage data and technology business have done a lot of work this year and in previous years to collect insurance escrow data to help understand where there are insurance cracks across the country, based on the loans that underpin a lot of these properties. So that's one way. We're also uniquely positioned to provide insights. We recently partnered with an organization called Delta Terra, a research and analytic firm that builds rigorous market calibrated models that help translate these climate projections and insurance market data into asset price depreciation risk and pool level projections at different economic and climate scenarios. So we have the data that can help you integrate these risks into your credit analytics today, plug and play, more or less. So there's a lot of work that we can do and a lot of help that we can provide in helping measure and understand where you're exposed and how these risks may impact the assets that you hold in your balance sheet.
Larry Lawrence, VP of Sustainable Finance Data at Intercontinental Exchange. Larry, great to see you this morning, and thanks so much.
Thank you.